And good morning. If you happen to be hanging out and joining us on this wonderful, wonderful Christmas Eve, we do wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I can see there's one person hanging out in chat being shy. Feel free to pop in and say hi. And good morning, Jeff, and Merry Christmas to you as well. And good morning, Joe and Monero Dinero. Merry Christmas to you guys. And Monero Dinero, it's interesting what they're doing there. And MJ, Merry Christmas to you as well. And Brownsburg Bats Baseball Club, Merry Christmas. Robbie Smith, good to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast, the live stream edition, and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. And thank you. The podcast is your got to stop that. Preface this one a little bit. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't have any sound effects. If I did have a sound effect, it would be Hans getting thrown out of the top of the Nakatomi Tower because Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie. If you disagree with it, I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. I can go on and on. All right. But I'm absolutely correct about this. I have my little Nakatomi Tower up on my on my desk today, so I get to keep clicking him down. The podcast is your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door and talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. Who would offer financial advice in this market? We are telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I am your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. And joining me, as always, is the greatest producer of all time, Belle. How are we doing this morning, Belle?
I'm doing fantastic today. I got a lot of presents wrapped, and yeah, it's a good day. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I got enough done that I could do a live stream on Christmas Eve. So once again, here at the podcast, we have a tendency to talk about what others are not talking about and bringing the focus onto use case cryptos because, as we know, these are what drive the market and bring innovation to a world that desperately needs it. The status quo is no longer acceptable. It's time for a technological revolution. Welcome to crypto and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. So, Little Bird hit me up this morning. We were just going to come out of here and do fun, but I actually got some actionable news, so I think we'll kind of dole it out over the period of the stream. And Belle's looking up some Christmas trivia questions. So we're going to do some Jackal giveaway. I have a whole bunch of Jackal. We're going to give away some Jackal. And and we're going to be basing this on Christmas trivia. So for those of you who are really in sync, love the season, can't wait, you're probably going to make some money on us today. So I think that's excellent. Did a little video earlier today. I'm going to try to keep this as light as I can. And by the way, we're in casual mode today. So Scott's wardrobe is provided by St. Croix, the preferred wardrobe of all 50-plus-year-old yuppies. We all shop at the same store. It's St. Croix. There it is. Thank you. Oh God, I just derailed myself. We're not. We just kind of pulled this one out. Wanted to talk to everybody, get together with you. You guys have supported us all damn year. You have supported us for 2 years. We haven't forgotten, and because of that, we want to spend some time with you here before we kick off the season. Clearly, not doing anything tomorrow. It's Christmas, man, and although the legacy world and everyone's kind of taking the day off, crypto never stops. So if crypto never stops, we're a crypto channel, small, tight-knit group. It seems to be the least that we can do is to come live and to spend some time with you guys. So I did do a video earlier, and I was talking about centralized exchanges on it. And, it's amazing to me the sheer volume of tokens that are still being traded on these centralized exchanges. Just using just very, very basic guerrilla math, I came up with about $7.2 billion traded on these exchanges over the last 24 hours. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think about how much money that actually is that still lives on these central exchanges, regardless of what happens, regardless of FTX and Celsius and everybody else who continues to illustrate that they will not be good stewards of your money. People continue to trade there. People continue to do their business there. And the reason, it's honestly, it's education. That's really where it comes down to, a simple education. Crypto is tough. It is. And I'm not talking from a trading standpoint. Markets are markets. And speculative investments are speculative investments. Doesn't matter where they live, as long as they exist, people are going to play around with them. It comes down to an education thing, because to get out to the DeFi, even though it's simple for you, it's simple for me, it's simple for Bell, it's simple for everybody who's on here watching right now, because the odds are good that you're a degen. But for us, it's very, very simple, because we understand what self custody means. We understand what holding our own money means. But for the bulk of the world, this is meaningless. They don't see central exchanges as a place that's holding their tokens. They see them as effectively banks, meaning that you put your money into Wells Fargo or Bank of America or whoever you happen to bank with, and you never actually physically touch it. It's just ones and zeros that go back and forth, but you trust them. You trust them to hold your money. People take the same attitude out to these central exchanges, but there is effectively no difference. Now, banks, when you put your money in a bank, it's not just sitting there. Your money is being put out and it's being put to work. Central exchanges are kind of doing the same. Well, not kind of. They are exactly doing the same thing, but you're not quite aware of it or are conscious of the fact that they are doing this. This is why FTX happened. This is why these central exchanges collapsed, because they were taking your capital, your money, and even though it is in their central exchange as Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever token you happen to be trading in, to them it's just cash. So they do some typing on the keyboard. They move it over here. They say that this is yours. It's going to increase in value, decrease in value, regardless. But the money that you put in, the cash that you put in, the hard cash that you put in, that's theirs. Free to do with as they like, just like a bank. Now, it's pretty much impossible to live in this world without a bank. It is. Everything is digital. I can't remember the last time that I carried cash in my pocket. And I understand that there's people that just simply refuse to use banks. And I understand. I get it. Because everything that I just mentioned applies to you every time you get paid. Every time your money leaves your employer and goes into the bank, it becomes your money. But it is the exact same fundamental issue. Now, there are still currently over 80 centralized exchanges in existence. Again, we did the video, I did some guerrilla math, and I saw the insane amount of volume that's still trading on there. And I kind of got to ask, who are these people that are making all of these massive trades, that are trading such a sheer amount of volume on a centralized exchange? Did you not get the memo? Did you not see any major network that is, giving SBF and Caroline this nice soft landing? Have you done any research whatsoever? And I have to come back and say that the answer is no. This was a shot across the bow. 100% a shot across the bow that your money is not safe on a centralized exchange, but people are still there. They're still doing it. 24/7, 365. This is crypto. We never sleep. It's easy to trade on a centralized exchange, and people still are. So, do I believe that we've seen the last of the sex collapses? Absolutely not. I think we've seen the first ones, but we have not seen the rest of them, because there is a tremendous amount of volume that's still getting moved around there, and the fundamentals haven't changed. If it's on a centralized exchange and it's not in your wallet, they're not yours. They are not yours. You might get an email. You might get something. Oh, no, look, here's your balance. But these don't belong to you. The ones in your DeFi wallet, they belong to you, because nobody can get them. Nobody. Nobody can manipulate those tokens. Not the fiat value, but nobody can physically manipulate those tokens on your behalf without your permission. So, even with all that happened, to still see that kind of shocking volume that's being traded on these tells me that we didn't learn a damn thing. People are happy that they weren't in FTX. People are happy that they weren't in Celsius. People are happy that they got whatever they could out. But they didn't learn anything. They didn't learn a thing. So as we're getting closer to New Year, I think it's fun to make some predictions. And you know what? That's what we're going to do this stream, Bell. That's what I was trying to figure out a way just to have some fun with it. We never do predictions. I'm not that kind of guy, but it might be fun based on the evidence that's presented to us to make a few of these and just kind of document them and see how it turns out. I will make my first prediction that we haven't the collapse of the centralized exchanges hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped at all. And as more and more of this stuff fleshes out, and as these centralized exchanges get more and more desperate to try to remain in business or to remain relevant, they're going to be pushing that money into riskier and riskier assets. Everybody right now is looking for the next thing. How can we artificially inflate crypto? How can we artificially inflate Bitcoin? What can we do to create buying pressure so that people get excited and start pouring in so that we're positioned when market sentiment returns? That is 100% what they're doing right now. If you are in a centralized exchange, meaning part of the staff, I guarantee you that's what they're doing because they can. And because even with all the bad that has happened, people are still dumping money into it. So it tells my first prediction is that we're going to see shedding probably 25% of these central exchanges are just going to go tits up. They won't be able to maintain it, and they are not doing business the way that they should have done business. So that's my first prediction for the coming new year. That's my very first prediction. I think that's a good one. I think I'm pretty well in the ballpark on this, and we'll see how it fleshes out. So with that, Bell, what is your first prediction for the new year?
Oh, I think, ooh, wow, tough call. I think Bitcana is going to stay stable and at about, penny to 2 cents.
Penny, you Bitcana's going to hold value. I'll
Yeah.
agree with that one. Bitcana fortunately runs with Atom, and as long as Atom maintains its stability and continues to get its press that it's going to get, then Bitcana's going to be holding right in there with it. Now, I'm fine with that because I'm a pretty big holder of Bitcana and I'm cool with it. I have used the rail, the new pay rail that Bitcana launched. I have used that pay rail, so it works. It's good, and I'm excited to see where the development continues because they've been holding off on a lot of stuff, waiting for that pay rail to get finished. It has been. It's up. It works. It functions. I've used it. Bitcana is a currency to me now, so I love the fact that I have this. Now I'm gonna expand on that a little bit because they've been holding off implementation while they get the development done. They actually did it right. They weren't upselling something that they didn't build yet. They built it and now they're going to sell it. That's the way business should be done. TJ absolutely nailed. TJ's their project manager for Bitcana, by the way, guys. He absolutely nailed it. Absolutely did it right. So I'm very, very excited to see what they do with this one. And yeah, there you go. So I happen to agree with that. I think Bitcana is going to stay strong. I love the 30% ish I get on the stake. I'm happy to support the network, happy to support the product because I want to see how what they develop it into. And yeah, no, I agree with that one. I think it's going to work out. All right, Belle, did you get any Christmas trivia questions?
Of course I did. Who do you
Okay.
take me for?
All right, we're going to give 50 Jackal to the person who can answer the following question first. Belle, give him the question.
How many gifts in total were given in the 12 Days of Christmas song?
Wow. All right, you guys heard it. How many gifts total were given in the 12 Days of Christmas song? Are you saying just add them all up, or is that the whole rub here? Because now you can just type that one out. All right, while we wait for the answer, I'm going to throw out just an absolute wild prediction right here. You guys ready for this one? Little Bird told me, and it's not that hard. If you guys have been in or around Sif Chain, you understand that they've had some issues over the last year. It was brutal. Brutal. There's no better way to say it. I don't even know what that damn token's trading at right now. Hang on, I'll pull it up. I want to be a team player. And even though the chain is halted right now, the token still exists over here on Osmo. So let's take a look at it. Uh, Yikes. That's all we got to say on that one right now is that it's trading at .000324. So that's what you get for that's where Rowan is right now. Yeah, it's dead. You know what? The chain is halted. The coup d'état has taken place, and they're gonna fork it. That's the prediction right now is that they're gonna fork it. The neat thing is that it still exists, and here's the real funny thing: anybody can fork a chain. All right, it's not like you need permission. Anybody can fork a DeFi chain. Rowan has been forked before. Did you know that? Anybody know that? Hands. Rowan has already been forked. I mean before this, because again, anybody can do it. So but I think that they're going to dig in on this one. They're going to put it together and they're going to save it. Now, I it's probably too early for me to actually completely speculate on this one. I just wanted to put that little nugget out there that I think they're going to do what they can to try to save this. Now, from a price standpoint, no. I mean, look at that thing and it's gone. How much is 5,600 Rowan worth? 5,600 Rowan right now will get me $1.80. So it's not in a good place. The token itself, I'm not going to dump them. I'm holding on to these because they're kind of like UST to me right now. I still have close to 300,000 UST that I haven't gotten rid of yet. I was stuck. There was no getting out. It was unfortunate. Boom, gone. But for some reason, I still haven't dumped it all. It's not a badge of pride. I keep it as a reminder that this is crypto. That's it. That's my entire reminder of this. So now I'm holding on to the Rowan as a reminder that this is crypto and bad things can happen. Anybody get that answer yet, Belle?
MJ actually got it. The answer to that question is 364.
There you go. Congratulations, MJ. You get 50 Jackal. You know the drill. Send Bell your wallet address. I that's all I need is your wallet address, and I will send you 50 Jackal.
Specifying your Jackal address.
Specifying your Jackal address. That's right. All right. Do we got any questions or comments, or should I just wool gather?
We've got a comment from Monero Dinero. Whoa, go check out Nom. They updated their staking page, getting close to launch, I think.
Okay. That's another one that's been out there for a good long time. I mean, Nom has been out there forever. Another one promising bridges, but we've all been waiting for the delivery of the bridge. But no, man, I'll go take a look at it afterwards. So I'm going to get into what I'm thankful for this year out of all things, and it has been a miserable, miserable, miserable crypto year. How bad has it been, Scott? Let's take a look. Mostly, it's easier to show you here. This is a year of crypto. This is 1 year of Atom. So when at this time last year, we were sitting at about little under $26. We peaked at $43.52, and I remember that very moment because I was dumping everything. And we're currently sitting at $9 even on the nose. So what I'm thankful for, as far as being in the Cosmos, and I've been in the Cosmos for a while, what I'm thankful for is that Cosmos Atom is still worth $9. That is what I'm actually thankful for. What this one did different, what happened out here differently than happened to an awful lot of tokens, is the fact that from June 18th, which was right there, that was our low point, $6. Atom recovered 50% of its value from the low point. So I'm thankful that I was in the Cosmos because I think we were able to avoid a lot of the calamity that has absolutely savaged the crypto market. Cosmos was not immune to it, clearly. I mean, Jesus, look at this. We were not immune to it, but we were able to at least hold our own. Now, I'm heavily invested in Cosmos. Well, I mean, I got a lot of money over here. So the fact that this thing did anything makes me very, very thankful because it's positioning me for next year. Now, you hate to start looking that far forward, but in this case, it's not that far forward. It's a week, so we get to actually see what's going to be happening because right now people are still going nuts in this. We're living in the very moment, and we're not looking too far forward. Uh, that's tough for me because I'm always looking 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road. I'm not going to do this Mr. Wonderful bullshit. I see everything because I don't. Nobody does. You kind of deal with it. But I think that Cosmos, where I'm in right now, is going to keep me well positioned for me to make a pretty decent recovery going forward. The interest rates are not going to keep getting cranked up. They can't. All right. One or two more, and boom, you've just slammed the brakes on the economy. You just wrecked housing. You just continued to shatter supply lines, and you just forced us into 2 to 3 years of absolute misery. And anybody who's a student of history remembers the Carter years because that is what would be in front of us if they continue to do this. Now, I'm not going to say that they're doing it for any kind of reason of altruism. I'm not going to speculate on that, but uh, they have to know that this can't continue. Now, what I'm actually looking for is the very first month that they do not raise interest rates, that they say enough's enough, no half point, no quarter point, no anything, that they actually wait for the data to accumulate. That means they get the CPI, they see that this thing continues to decrease. They look at the price of oil, price of gas, price of everything, all of the commodities that are actually underlying all of this stuff, that they actually wait for the data before they make the decision as opposed to just willy-nilly putting little Jerome Powell, little pocket Napoleon out there saying, I'm going to ruin you. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen in January, but it is going to happen. So I am very, very thankful that Cosmos was able to maintain what they've been maintaining. But if they don't start actually getting projects launched, not a new project that's just coming up, and don't worry, a year from now we're going to put out something that's going to be really, really cool. If they don't start actually getting stuff out, and not just more L1s. That's kind of the problem with Cosmos. It's been the problem for a long, long time, is that it's very easy to stand up an L1 on here. And the people who make money on L1s are validators, are devs, but the people who invest in those tokens tend to get wrecked pretty good. And we'll take a look at a few of those things. So this was actually one of my favorite ones. If you want to see misery, you want to see misery index. This is misery index. For those of you who are familiar with the token Chihuahua, Wawa, you guys remember this one? Big deal. It was launched. It's here. It exists over on, or I don't even know if they're still up and live. Let me take a look. I actually own so. No, it's still up. The chain is still functioning. But that's what happens when you stand up an L1 and have nothing. There's no plan aside from just standing up an L1. That's what happens. That's what the price looks like. That's 1 year, even though they launched in February. That's 1 year of that. That's where that's what you get from that. And I can name tons and tons of chains, L1s over here that pretty well did the same thing. I'm not going to show you the Rowan because we all know what that one looks like. Let's take a look at another misery index. So let's take a look at Juno. I know that we have a lot of strong opinions on Juno, but that's what a year gets you. That's what a year gets you when you promise the world, promise bridges, and don't deliver any. That's what you get. Now I understand that this is looks remarkably similar to what Atom did, and it did get the same Atom bump. But you're talking about a token that was $40 at the high point. This is all hype. This is, you won't believe what's in the package. We're just never going to unwrap it. From $45 to a buck 22. That is another trail of tears. And sadly, there's so many people that are still holding on to this token. I don't see a way out on this one. I don't. I want to support it. I want to try to support. I really want to try to support Cosmos projects. I'm not seeing it here. I am absolutely not seeing it. Now, if you guys are seeing something that I'm not, please let me know because I still have a little bit of Juno, but that's nothing that I could consider a serious investment. Where do you see this? Where do you see this coming anywhere close to its all-time high or anything like that? What is coming up on Juno that I'm not aware of aside from like Win? What's coming up on this that's going to recover value, that's going to capture value, that's going to do any of these things? It really harkens back to something that we've been talking about here for the last 6 months, and that's value capture. Value capture. It has to, whatever you're going to invest in, it's going to have additional streams of revenue aside from people buying and selling the tokens. Because all we've learned this year is that it's good to get in early and pull all the liquidity out and dump it. That's what we've learned. That's what the cosmos has learned. That's the one lesson that we've taken away from this because it has repeated that cycle over and over and over. So, as much as I hate to get be that guy, I'm not going to get excited when I see, oh, there's a new chain launching. And don't worry, we're going to be better than the other guys. And the other guys who have nothing built on their chains are going to, what, pivot over here and build on ours that still haven't actually kicked anything out. So for me, honestly, it's very, very concerning to me what's happening over here. Not from a we're gonna all go completely tits up, but the what we've learned over the year, over the last 2 years, hell, over the last 3 years, what we've learned, the lessons that we've taken from the DeFi, is that stand up and exchange and you're going to make money. Trade tokens and you're going to make money. Stand up L1s on the Cosmos and you're going to make money. And you might, but everybody who invests in you is probably going to get wiped out. We've seen it repeatedly over and over and over. I like to think that I'm a pretty good trader, but this year has been almost impossible. It has been almost impossible to function in. So I want to get back to what I'm thankful for. And what I am thankful for is that I have anything left. That's what I'm actually thankful for here, Belle. What are you thankful for, Belle?
Mm, I'm thankful I finally learned how to not make emotional decisions when it comes to crypto. Uh, I mean, this year, if I had been emotional, yeah, that would have completely wrecked me.
It's going to continue to do that, man. People are never going to be able to get the emotion or the passion out of investment. It's never ever going to happen. Uh, Money's serious. It is. And we can try to sugarcoat it or tiptoe around it and say, yeah, 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 no, but they're tokens. But everybody looks at the fiat value of these tokens. They're never not going to. Because right now, if you didn't care about the fiat value of tokens and you're in inflationary tokens like primarily exist over here on Cosmos, you should be thrilled because you have so many more tokens. Now, again, I think this is a very, very good lesson for an awful lot of people because it's getting them down into the foundation of money, the philosophy of currency. It's starting to get people looking in that direction. I think it's a very good thing. So I am extremely grateful, not what happened, but the lessons that people are taking away from this. I think it's going to make it a stronger crypto community going forward. People are not going to be able to snow you like they did before. That's kind of the kicker, because when you listen to just absolute pure rubbish, and you're hearing rubbish, but you still see that these tokens are going up and up. It kind of hardens your heart, and you're just going to bite your tongue and say, you know what, I should buy some of this because look, it's going up. But now, after all of this year, I think people are going to come back and look at these things and ask the question, why is it going up? And that is, it's like an awakening. It's the allegory of the cave for finances. When this happens, that's what it turns into, and it gets people asking the who, what, when, where, why, and how of an investment. I think it's going to create people that are going to be much, much smarter with their money. And the hype isn't going to get people to push money in. The pie in the sky promises is not going to be enough to get people to push money in. I'll ask the audience. I don't even know if anybody's listening right now, but if you don't catch it on replay, put it in the comments. What's changed for you over the last year? What has changed with the way that you look at crypto, with the way that you look at investing, with the way that you protect your money now versus what you did before? What has changed? And if something's changed, what changed it? What changed your mind? What got you completely looking at the crypto market differently? Because I'm sure you have. There's no way that this can continue. There's no way that people can continue to just throw money in blindly and hope things work out. I think it's going to make a much smarter investor. I think it's made me a smarter investor. And I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Sometimes you have to learn hard lessons. And unfortunately, it punches you right in the wallet, which is, again, a very emotional state. Nobody likes to lose money. But if you lose a percentage but get a very, very good lesson out of that, I see it as a positive thing because this is not short term. Investing is not short term. There's always going to be a bit of that. The day traders, swing traders, leverage traders, so forth. There's always going to be that segment. But as far as being long term profitable in investing in crypto in whatever market you're going to have to learn some very, very hard lessons and start changing your philosophy of what you're putting into it. So, yeah, I'm actually thankful this year that I have anything left, but that even I got some lessons out of this. I think, again, I'm very, very thankful for it. I know I keep saying that, but that's my way of salving my pride that I have anything left. We we're still at seven figures, but barely. I mean, barely. One more little hiccup, and that's it, man. I'm like, we've had enough. It was fun. Time to move on. All right, Belle, do we have any questions or comments or concerns, or should I just keep rambling?
We do have a couple of questions, both of them from Armando Delgado.
Okay, doke.
First question, do you know what is the namer in the Kepler wallet.lcns registration?
Do I know what it is? I know what it does. But no, I haven't actually. I use Jackal. I use Jackal's RNS, so I already have one. But no, I don't. I know it's a big thing and it's on Kepler, and this is. I'm sure this is what you're talking about here. Let me pull it up. I'm sure that's what you're talking about. I haven't used it myself, so I actually have used the Jackal RNS, but I'm sure it's similar. But pardon me. It's a good question. Let me get you the good answer and I'll send it out to you. Carry on, Belle.
All right, second question from Armando. Also, ST Osmo, what is it?
Liquid. It's kind of liquid staking. I'm ugh, I know I'm supposed to get real excited and real psyched about any kind of liquid staking, but it it's not something that I love. I'm not exactly in love with it. I understand what they're doing with it. I understand why they're doing with it. Crescent is pretty damn famous for this one, because almost everything up there on Crescent is pure liquid staking. Not pure, but their main underlying fundamental on this stuff is liquid staking. Let me show you on this one. Oh, hang on, guys. Got to change wallets. I need a bigger wallet. This is the YouTube wallet. I don't have much on there, so let me swap this real quick. Uh, yeah, Crescent, I think is probably they were probably one of the ones that were really mainlining this nice and early. There, I got a little bit. Let me claim just a hair, and I'll show you what we're talking about on this, assuming I understood the question. So what I'm doing right now by claiming this over here on Crescent, and why don't I show you, is just claiming out the Crescent. Now, Crescent's the native token of Crescent, which is by the way, a very good decentralized exchange. Their order book is fantastic. I like what they have going on over here, but everything over here, what they have going on is purely for effectively liquid staking. So I claimed a little bit of Crescent, just a bit, but for me to really put this to work, I'm gonna have to swap it for Bcree. Now this is liquid staking right now. So if I swap 10 Crescent, which is a little bit less than $1, you can see that I get out 8.42. And then from there, I can put it to work. Now, we'll go ahead and let that process as soon as I pay. And yeah, they're nice about it. I don't even have to pay gas on that one. Now, if you want to come over here and actually swap stuff, you notice that the native token Crescent, that's what we have right now. I can't swap the native token for anything over here. Nothing. I can only swap it for BCRE, or I can stake the Crescent and get liquid BCRE out the other side. Now, the BCRE, which we just swapped for, I could trade that for anything that exists over here. So you're talking about something that is built completely around liquid staking. These guys are a holdover from Terra, and Terra had some really, really outside of the box thinking when it came down to crypto and when it came down to liquid staking, because it was kind of born over there. Uh, I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I think it's neat, but I think crypto and money in general over here is confusing enough without adding a liquid staking element to it. But I know a lot of people get really, really excited about that stuff, and it is the new thing. It is the way. I don't see it. It's not me, but for the people who are enjoying this one, and we're talking about like ST Atom, ST Osmo, whatever else they happen to put in, uh, yeah, it's not really something that I'm gonna pile into. So it's neat, but again, it's not really something for me. Anything else, Bill?
We actually did have a couple more questions pop in when
Okay.
you were going over ST Osmo. Aaron Miller, is AMP dead?
Wow, you want me to talk about AMP? Is that what? Okay. Is AMP dead? In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I am nobody. Understand this. I have no particular insider knowledge about AMP. I understand the product, I understand what they're trying to do, but I have no particular insight into this. In my opinion, mathematically, they are dead. I don't see a path forward for this token. I just don't see it. Consider how much liquidity of AMP is actually out there right now, and look at the AMP price. It's probably easier to talk about it with the chart. For some reason, that it hits home a little better. Uh, this is the 1 year chart of AMP. Now, there's not a lot of people that want to be in an investment like this. And this is kind of its lower point. This was the SEAL Team 5, SEAL Team 6 days, way back beginning of the year. From 5 cents down to .0031. All right, that is absolute misery index 1,000. Nobody really wants to be in something like this. The people who are in it are stuck. So I actually kind of see that as a positive as far as being able to shore up its own value, is that you have a lot of very lots and lots and lots of small traders that are over here that will do what they have to do to try to support their own product. They're going to continue to try to DCA down and down and down so that at the end of the day they can come back up and say, I didn't lose a lot of money. But a DCA only works in a product that has potential recovery. And we're not talking about the AMP SDK. We're not talking about Flexa. We're not talking about any of those things. Right now, guys, we're talking about math. And there is so much liquidity out there, and there are so many people that got stuck and stuck and stuck that they are going to be looking for any form of recovery at all. And we're talking from .003 to .005. So we're talking about a very, very small movement on this, and people are going to dump. So, from a math standpoint, unless you have a huge amount of external liquidity that is willing to be exit liquidity for the current crop of investors, I don't see mathematically how this thing recovers. It is too far gone, it is too far down, and there is zero faith in the community. You're always going to have your holders on. All right, this, like anything else, anybody who's been in a project for a long, long time, they get stuck into something called sunk cost bias. You've been in it so long, you've put so much energy into this, you've put so much money into this, that you look at it with just purely rose-colored glasses. This isn't an AMP thing. This is an investment thing. It is anybody goes through this. If you've been in this for long enough, you know you've held something too long, too far. It's not good for you. So do I think AMP is dead? Yes, I personally believe that AMP is dead, unless they find $500 million in today's market to come in and be exit liquidity for the crop of current investors. I don't see how they get out of this. I just don't. They've promised the world and they've delivered nothing. They promised that SDK last year, and here we are done with this year, and we still don't have an SDK. They're still using that shit spend app, which is a black hole for tokens. You can put money in, but you can never get it out. And they continue with the same business practices that got them here. They say nothing. When bad news happens, they say nothing. When the price crashes, they say nothing. They continue to stick with the same model that got them from 12 cents to .003 in 18 months. So I would question management. I would question math. I would question a lot of things around AMP. I would love it if it was successful. I want to support projects here on this little nub of a YouTube channel. I want to support products that have an external revenue stream. AMP does have an external revenue stream, but I'm not seeing it on this one. I'm just not. Keep in mind, who the hell am I? What do I know? Bell, please carry on.
One small ball. Why do groups like Evmos and Juno do so much work, get so much hype, just to shit the bed in the end? I traded the last of my Evmos away weeks ago, way too late.
It's kind of a standard thing, way out here in the deeper DeFi, like the Cosmos. Even though we're not deep DeFi, but we're on the fringe. Uh, it's very easy to build hype. It's very easy to promise bridges. That's the funny thing. If you want to see promised bridges, Internet Computer Protocol. Take a look at ICP. It's very, very easy to find investors when the market is hot. It's very, very easy to promise that we're going to build a system of governance. That's what these things are. Juno is a system of governance. Evmos is a system of governance. These L1s are a system of governance, but you are building a government and then hoping you can create a society, and it doesn't work that way. Throughout the history of mankind, it hasn't worked that way. You build a society and then you create a government. But for some reason over here in crypto, we go the other way. We want to build a government and then now come build on us. People, there's only so many ideas. There are only so many ways to apply Web3. Now, I think we're just plumbing it. We're just scratching the surface of what can actually be built over here on Web3. But right now, the focus is building ecosystems with no society. What app do you have on your phone? I think this is a very fair question. It sucks. I didn't want to do it here, but I will. What app do you have on your phone? What Web3 app do you have on your phone that you simply can't live with that isn't a crypto wallet? What app are you using? Web3. This is the greatest thing we've ever seen, and it can only be built here on Web3. What app do you have on your phone that you simply cannot live without? I have two, and you've never heard of them. That's where we are in crypto right now. It's very easy to build a leadership cast, and that's what we're doing. But then once you have the governance in place, now you have to inspire the true creatives, the people who are looking at Web3 and saying, what can I do with this? Now you have to go out and you have to seek them. You have to find them and say, we're ready, build on our ecosystem. And that's the hard part. We never talk about this. We never discuss this, that now that you built it, they're not coming. That's the problem. That's the failure of these tokens. That's the failure of Juno. That's the failure of Evmos. That's going to be the failure of 90% of the L1s over here on Cosmos, because you've built the ecosystem and nobody's building on you. Inflationary tokens, they're going to bleed. This is crypto. This is math. Welcome to it. Hope that answered the question. It's a shit answer, but I promise you it's right. Bell, please carry on.
Monero Dinero, is Passage the only metaverse you know of being built on Cosmos? Metas could be one of the main narratives of 2023, in my opinion. Your thoughts?
It probably is. There's a lot of hype around metaverse. Everybody sees metaverse, they get really really excited and they jump all over it. Uh, is that going to be the thing? I believe Passage is, but I'm not going to swear by it. I'm not a metaverse kind of guy. I'm not. It's I think it's neat, but it's another one. It's a system of government. You know, everyone's all here and now please build, 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 and they're trying to come up with something unique. Uh, I think the thing that cracks it, and I'm hoping I see it next year, the thing that's going to crack and start to really get crypto and get a lot of people looking in this way, is games and entertainment. It always is. Games and entertainment will always lead the charge over enterprise. I'm sorry, but it will. Games and entertainment. And right now, we kind of found a model for it in like card trading games, like your a la Magic the Gathering kind of trading game or trading card games. There's lots and lots of these. But what we don't have yet is a real big budget, good type of MMORPG that exists over here on the blockchain, that exists in a decentralized fashion. We don't have that yet. That is, in my opinion, is what is going to be stepping these things out because these are easy. Believe it or not, these are easy. Not building the game. I'm not a coder. I know that there's a tremendous amount of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into making something like this. But the application of it towards Web3, this is where it is unique and that can only exist over here. And that is what's missing. Nobody's standing up these things, or if they are, the development is so small. Now, Orbum Wars, big fan of Orbum Wars, tower defense game. We've done some videos on it. If you just don't know, just go look at Orbum Wars. Really, really cool, and it was actually getting built over on Juno. But games and entertainment are always going to lead the charge, and I think people have forgotten overall that games and entertainment are more or less recession proof. People will always find money to pay for their games. People will always find money to satisfy their need for entertainment. So it seems like a huge, huge miss, in my opinion, that we are not seeing more people standing these things up. Enterprise is great, and I love enterprise. I do. I think that is what's going to propel crypto out of the Stone Age and up into the mainstream. But to get it there, you have to still have to do proof of concept. You have to get people interested. You have to show that a product that's built out here can be profitable regardless of the price of Bitcoin. And games are the thing that will do it. I know I don't talk about this a lot, but games are the thing that will do it. That is what will blow this out. That's what will make Web3 everyday kind of thing. And maybe they'll happen in the metaverse. I don't know. I'm not seeing it yet, but hopefully. Belle, please carry on.
All right, and Edward Roar hit us with a $10 super chat saying, happy to hear ya.
Good for you, Belle.
And your dad popped in chat and said, hi, I'm here, your little old daddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Father. Thank you. Anything else? Is that it?
That's it for right now.
All right. Give me just 1 second here. So we're not going to run this one out. This actually got a lot more serious than I thought I really wanted to get today because I want to take it easy too, guys. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for all of us. But I do want to stick to my point that I've been talking up for about the last 3 months. The survivors next year are going to be the products that have external revenue streams. They're going to be the products that appeal to both crypto and legacy people. And if you really want to blow it out, you're going to have to just roll up your sleeves and find the ones that appeal to people who don't know anything about crypto. Those are the ones that are going to be able to step out. We all seem to be waiting for this mythical bull market. Don't worry, the bull will come back. The bull will come back, and we're all going to be okay. We're all going to be whole. And I disagree with that. I think it's a flawed premise. Even starting from there, saying, "Well, I know it's bad now, but when the market gets good, it'll be good." That's It's just a flawed premise because at that time everything's going to be good. So if you're sticking with something that you know is down and that you can't see a path out of it unless the market gets good, it's a bad investment. This is sunk cost bias. You are suffering from it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you absolutely are. You need to change your whole perspective going into next year. You need to start changing it now that you are going to be looking for the tokens, the ecosystems, the chains that can survive regardless of the price of Bitcoin. Because when you find those, when you are pushing money into those, they're longer. It's slow. It sucks. Nobody likes to invest and see just their tokens moving slow. Nobody really likes to do that. But products take a while to develop, not get the product to market, but to build the market that will utilize the product. This is slow going. It always has been historically throughout the history of mankind. Making it is one thing, getting people to buy it is another thing. So when you start to find those and you see the path for it, you're up in your bomber at 30,000 feet and you're cruising the landscape looking for it, and you see spot A, spot B, spot C. And you can start to determine this is when this is going to go. And this is why it's going to happen. When you start getting into those, everything changes. All right. Everything changes because now you're not rooting for Bitcoin. You're rooting for the product and you can start to see why. I still have one of those. I haven't sold a single Jackal token. Jackal's going to be the one. I know people, you go ahead and bash me. I mean, that thing was, everything that happened with Jackal was wrong. Uh, they probably launched too early, and without having the storage module up, it's bad. I mean, it is rough because the tokenomics for this product were not designed to work individually. They were designed to work together. So with the chain up and the storage module down, the token bled. It had to. It's math. It's the way it was designed. But this is still a product with legacy world facing applications. So I didn't like to lose money on this. I know nobody else did, and that's my wild card right now is that Jackal is just one of those tokens. From 30,000 feet looking down, I see the marks and I know what they have to do to hit them. So these are the types of things that I'm looking for. I still think Fetch, of all things, I like Fetch, not the token. I like that all the dApps that are being built on Fetch. That's where the money shot is, not the network itself, but the apps that are getting stood up on there. This is what I'm looking for. These are what I'm going to continue to go after. A cache, I think, a cache, I think is a wonderful product. Absolutely wonderful. Cloud computing. This is infrastructure, guys. This is where I live. All right. I live in the infrastructure world. And the fact that I stood up my very own VPN. And by the way, Bell, link the Discord. Anybody wants a free VPN, go to the podcast Discord, go to the VPN, and it gives you step by step how to use mine. I don't charge you anything. I have this thing stood up and it costs me less than $1 a month to run it. All the people that I want. You are more than welcome to use the Podcast VPN free of charge. Try it out. If you like it, great. If you don't, at least you tried it. But this is what you can do with Web3. This is what you can do in the DeFi. And this is why I am here. So I'm looking for the products, and my whole next year is going to be completely in those. I will be getting out of financial products. I think they were great and they served their purpose, but I think their purpose is over. I think the market is hugely diluted with them. I don't want to invest in that anymore. I'm going to invest in pure products. That is my 2023 going forward. And we're going to have a wildly different discussion Christmas Eve on 2023, because after that it's all going to be, Scott, how did you know? Well, I just had a feeling and I did disclose it. So with that, guys, I'm going to go, unless there's anything else, Bell.
We do have a few more comments.
Okay, hit it.
Gustav Smith hit us with a $12 super chat saying, enjoy your Christmas. Thanks for the live stream. Edward Roar follows up saying, you both look great in purple.
Well, you know what? Do you think he meant me too?
He flat out said, you both.
Yeah, but that's kind of like a nod. Oh yeah, Scott looks good too. I like the St. Croix. I think I look very yuppie-ish. I feel good in this. What? Okay, finish it up, Bill.
And last but not least, your dad. Belle, you've done such a great job with this whole site and the way you've managed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Look at the little heart thing. All right, guys. I'm all done here. I please have yourself a good merry Christmas. Do yourself a favor and just don't look at prices tomorrow. This is my life, so I kind of do it, but if there's anything you need to know and you're on the podcast Discord, I'll tell you. So just stay away from it. Enjoy one Christmas day with no misery index applied to it. And from us to you guys, thank you so much for supporting us this year. Belle, get us out of here.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining us on this Christmas Eve live stream. Again, as Scott was just saying, we are not going to go live tomorrow. I think we'd both get shot if we did. Now, with that being said, we'll come back on Monday or Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll talk and decide the date for sure. Again, for those of you who joined us, Merry Christmas to you all. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.